Sonda's ready.
She can do the installation.
That's what's
herself.
important. Yeah, yes, you could.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I'm sorry.
If you haven't, if you haven't silenced your cell phone, please do so, or however you want to do it. Brother Marshall, you will present the officers to be installed.
Worshipful Master-elect Cameron Searle. Senior Warden Chance Crane. Junior Warden Alexander Courts. Treasurer Michael Harris. Secretary David Rice. Chaplain Robert Jones. Senior Deacon Alan Thane. Junior Deacon Horace Chip Green. Senior Steward Brian Jones. Marshal Terry Meade. Master of Ceremonies Stephen Blackman. Tyler James Lord.
He's just gonna make you sit back up. Okay, now you
The officers to be installed will please rise. Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present the officers, elective and appointive, of Washington Lodge number 18 for installation. I believe each of them to be duly qualified to discharge the duties of his office, and each has signified his willingness to do the same. I therefore ask that they be duly and constitutionally installed in their respective offices.
Brother Marshall, you will present the Worshipful Master-elect for installation. The remaining officers may be seated again. Worshipful sir and brother, I take pleasure in installing you into this honorable office with the usual ceremonies. But previously to being invested with the insignia of your office, it is necessary that you should signify your assent to those ancient charges and regulations which point out the duty of the master of the lodge. You agree to be a good man and true and to strictly obey moral law. You agree to be a peaceful citizen and cheerfully conform to the laws of the country in which you reside. You promise not to be concerned in plots and conspiracies against the government, but patiently to submit to the decisions of the Supreme Legislature. You agree to pay proper respect to the civil magistrate, to work diligently, live credibly. You agree to promote the general good of society, to cultivate the social arts, and to propagate the knowledge of the art. You promise to pay homage to the Grand Master for the time being and to his officers when duly installed and strictly conform to every edict of the Grand Lodge or General Assembly of Masons that is not subversive of the principles and groundwork of Masonry. You admit that it is not in the power of any man or body of men to make innovations in the body of Masonry. You promise a regular attendance on the committees and communications of the Grand Lodge on receiving proper notice, and to pay attention to all the duties of Masonry on convenient occasions. You admit that no new lodge shall be formed without permission of the Grand Lodge, and that no countenance be given to any irregular lodge or to any person clandestinely initiated therein, being contrary to the ancient charges of the order. You admit that no person can be regularly made a Mason in or admitted a member of any regular lodge without previous notice and due inquiry into his character. And you agree that no visitor shall be received in your lodge without due examination and producing proper vouchers for them having been initiated in a regular lodge. These are the regulations of free and accepted Masons. Do you submit to these charges and promise to support these regulations as all masters have done in all ages before you?
I do, most worshipful Grand Master.
Brother Searle, and consequences of your cheerful conformity to the charges and regulations of the order, you are now to be installed master of this lodge in full confidence of your care, skill, and capacity to govern the same. Brother Marshall, you will invest the worshipful master with the insignia of his office, which is the square. The various implements of the profession are emblematical of our conduct in life, and upon this occasion are carefully enumerated. The Holy Writings. The great light in masonry will guide you to all truth. It will direct your path to the temple of happiness and point out the way and point you to the whole duty of man. The square teaches us to regulate our actions by rule and line, to harmonize our conduct by the principles of morality and virtue. The compasses teach us to limit our desires in every station, that rising to eminence by merit, we should live respected and die regretted. The rule directs that we should punctually observe our duty, press forward in the path of virtue, and neither inclining to the right or left, in all our occasions have eternity in view. The line teaches us the criterion of moral rectitude, to avoid dissimulation in conversation and action, and to direct our steps to the path which leads to immortality. The Book of Constitutions. You are to search at all times, cause it to be read in your lodge, that none may pretend to ignorance of the excellent precepts it enjoins. You now receive in charge the charter by the authority of which your lodge is held. You are to carefully preserve and duly transmit it to your successor in office. And lastly, you receive in charge the violence of your lodge, which you are to see carefully and punctually execute. Brother Marshall, you will seat the worshipful master and present the senior warden-elect for installation. Brother Marshall, you will invest the senior warden with the insignia of his office, which is the level. Brother Crane, the level demonstrates that we are descended from the same stock, partake of the same nature, and share of the same hope. And through distinctions among men are necessary to preserve subordination, yet no eminence of station should make us forget that we are brethren. For he who is placed on the lowest spoke of wheel's fortune may be entitled to our regard, because a time will come, and the wisest not know how soon, when all distinctions but that goodness shall cease, and death, the grand leveler of human greatness, reduces to the same state. Your regular attendance at our stated meetings is essentially necessary. In the absence of the master, you are to govern the lodge. In his presence, you are to assist him in the government of it. I firmly rely on your knowledge of masonry and attachment to the lodge for the faithful discharge of the duties of this important trust. Look well to the west. Brother Marshall, you will seat the senior warden and present the junior warden-elect for installation. Brother Marshall, you will invest the junior warden with the insignia of his office, which is the plum. Brother Courts, the plum admonishes us to walk upright in our several stations, to hold the scale of justice in equal poise, to observe the just medium between intemperance and pleasure, and to make our passions and prejudices coincide with the line of our duty. To you is committed the superintendent of the craft during the hours of refreshment. It is therefore indispensably necessary that you not only be temperate and discreet in the indulgence of your own inclinations, but carefully observe that the none in the craft to be suffered to convert to the means of refreshment into intemperance and excess. Brother Marshall, you will seat the junior warden and present the treasurer-elect for installation. Marshal, you will invest the treasurer with the insignia of his office, which is the crossed keys. Brother Harris, it is your duty to receive all monies from the secretary, make due entries thereof, pay them out by order of the worshipful master and consent of the lodge. I trust in your regard to the welfare of the order will prompt you to faithfully discharge your duties. Brother Marshal, you will seat the treasurer and present the secretary-elect for installation.
Seat him in its station, in its place.
Wherever it goes. It's not a cushy chair like you.
Yeah, I got a rocking chair.
Brother Marshal, you will invest the secretary with the insignia of his office, which is the cross of quills. My worshipful Rice and my deputy, it is your duty to carefully observe all the proceedings of the lodge, make a correct record of all things to be written, receive all monies due the lodge, and pay them over to the treasurer, taking his receipt for the same. I trust your good wishes for the welfare of this lodge will prompt you to discharge the duties of your office with fidelity. And by doing so, you will merit the esteem and applause of your brethren. Brother Marshal, you will seat the secretary and present the chaplain for installation. Brother Marshal, you will invest the chaplain with the insignia of his office, which is the open Holy Bible. Brother Jones, it is your duty to perform those solemn services which we constantly render to our Creator, and which, when offered by one whose example is to point to heaven and lead the way, may, by refining our souls, strengthening our virtues, and purifying our minds, prepare us for admission into the society of those above, where the happiness will be as endless as it is perfect. Brother Marshal, you will seat the chaplain and present the senior and junior deacons for installation. Brother Marshal, you will invest one of the deacons with the insignia of his office, which is the square and compasses. I gave him grace. I don't know where the letter is.
He's moved.
Brother Thane and Right Worshipful Chip Green, it is your providence to attend on the masters and the wardens, and to act as their proxies in the active duties of the lodge, such as the reception of candidates into the different degrees of masonry, the introduction and accommodation of visitors, and the immediate practice of our rites. The square and compasses are the badges of your office. I entrust to your care, not doubting your vigilance and attendance. Brother Marshal, you will seat the deacons and present the senior steward for installation. Brother Marshal, you will invest the steward with the insignia of his office, which is the cornucopia or horn of plenty. Brother Jones, as a steward, it is your duty to assist the deacons and other officers in performing their respective duties, to see that the tables are properly furnished of refreshment and the brethren are suitably provided for. Your regular and early attendance will afford the best proof of your zeal and attachment to the lodge. Brother Marshal, you will seat the stewards and present the marshal and the master of ceremonies for installation. Brother Marshal, you will invest the marshal with the insignia of his office, which is the cross batons.
I'm Master of Ceremonies.
Brother Ming and worshipful Stephen Blackman, it is your duty to assist the senior deacon in preparing candidates for initiation, to see that the needs of the candidates are provided for, such as the candidate information program, ritualistic instruction, Masonic education, and information concerning the customs and usages of Masonry. Brother Marshal, you will seat the Master of Ceremonies and Marshal and present the title of installation. Brother Marshal, you will invest the title with the insignia of his office, which is the sword. Brother Lord, I present you with the implement of your office. As the sword is placed in the hands of the Tyler to enable him to guard against the approach of cowards and eavesdroppers, and to permit none to pass except those who are duly qualified, so should it admonish us to set a guard over our thoughts, a watch over our lips, and post a sentinel over our actions, thereby preventing the approach of every unworthy thought and deed, thus preserving consciences void of offense toward God and man. Brother Marshal, you will seat the Tyler and present the wardens for the charge. That's you again. You are too well acquainted with the principles of Masonry to warrant any distrust that you may find wanting in the discharge of your respective duties. Suffice to say that what you have seen praiseworthy in others, you should carefully imitate, and what in them you have appeared defective, you should in yourselves amend. You should be examples of good order and regularity, for it is only by due regard to the laws in your conduct that you can expect obedience in them from others. You are to assist the master of the lodge in the discharge of his duties and his trust, diffusing light and imparting knowledge to all whom he has placed under your care. In the absence of the master, you shall succeed to higher duties. Your requirements must therefore be such that the craft may never want or suffer for proper instruction. From the spirit which you have hereunto evinced, I entertain no doubt that your future conduct will be such as to merit the applause of your brethren and the testimony of good conscience. Brother Marshal, you will seat the wardens in their respective stations and present the worshipful master for the charge. Worship, sir, brothers, to your cares committed the charter of the lodge and the government of the brethren who compose the same and are within the jurisdiction of said lodge. You cannot be insensible of obligations which devolve on you as their head, nor your responsibility for the faithful discharge of the important duties annexed to said station. The honor, reputation, and usefulness of your lodge will materially depend on the skill with which you manage its concerns, while the happiness of its members will be generally promoted in proportion to the zeal and ability with which you propagate the genuine principles of our institution. For a pattern of imitation, consider the great luminary of nature, which, rising in the east, regularly diffuses light and luster to all within its circle. In a like manner, it is your providence to spread and communicate light and instruction to the brethren of your lodge. Forcibly impress upon them the dignity and high importance of Masonry, and seriously admonish them to never disgrace it. Charge them to practice out of the lodge those duties which have been taught in it, and by amiable, discreet, and virtuous conduct to convince mankind of the goodness of the institution. So that when a person is said to be a member of it, the world may know that he is one to whom the burdened heart may pour out its sorrows, to whom distress may prefer its soothe, whose hand is guided by justice and whose heart is expanded by benevolence. In short, by diligent observance of the bylaws of your lodge, the Constitution of Masonry, and above all, the Holy Scriptures, which are given as a rule to your guide in faith, you are enabled to acquit yourself with honor and reputation, and lay upon a crown of rejoicing, which shall continue when time shall be no more. Brother Marshall, you will seek the worshipful master in the east. The members of this lodge will please rise. Brethren, such is the nature of our Constitution that some must of necessity rule and teach, while others must, of course, learn to submit and obey. Humility is both an essential duty. The officers who are elected and appointed to govern your lodge are sufficiently conversant with the rules of proprietary and the laws of Masonic order, to avoid exceeding the powers with which they are entrusted, and you are too generous a dispensation to envy their preferment. I therefore trust that you will have one aim, and that will be to try to please each other and unite in the grand design of being happy and communicating happiness. Finally, my brethren, as the business of this lodge has been conducted in peace and harmony, so may it long continue. May you and your associates long enjoy every satisfaction and delight which disinterested friendships can afford. May kindness and brotherly affection distinguish your conduct among men and Masons. Within your peaceful walls, may your children's children celebrate with joy and gratitude the annual reoccurrence of this auspicious solemnity. And may the tenets of our profession be transmitted through your lodge, pure and unimpaired, from generation to generation. Brother Marshall, you will proclaim the installation.
In the name and by the authority of the Most Worshipful Grand Lodge of Texas, I proclaim the officers of Washington Lodge number 18, ancient, free, and accepted Masons, duly and constitutionally installed.
You are right. The audience will please rise. You're right. I was reading behind myself, so sorry about that.
Well, when the Grand Master tells you how to do it, you do it that way.
It becomes that. That is the way it is.
Okay, now that he's proclaiming the installation, y'all can all be seated. All right, I gotta turn this way so you can see that. Having having been duly elected and installed with the constitutional number of brethren present, a charter or warrant empowering you to work, and the great lights and masonry in their place upon the altar, this gavel in your hand is truly an emblem of power. And I now place it in your charge for this lodge. And with that, worshipful master and brethren, right worshipful sirs, thank you for allowing me to do this this evening. It's always a great honor to be able to do installations or be asked to do it. So thank you very much. And with that, you have a hat. As soon as you put your hat on, I'll take mine off. I'll get out of the way. Trying to go.
Thank you, most worshipful. I can't tell y'all what a great honor this is to have the Grand Master of Masons in Texas be our installing officer tonight. This is just a wonderful occasion, and I'm so glad all of you are here. I'm going to reserve some more remarks for after we call off from refreshment, but for right now, if everybody wants to get together and chat and talk for a little bit and let our guests step out, well, then we'll proceed.
Introduce guest. Have the brothers introduce their guest.
I think the guests were already introduced. The guest Masons were introduced. I believe the only person who hasn't been introduced is this young lady over here.
I think she's worth it.
I don't know you.
I don't
Please
know
stand
you.
up and say your name and
Well, let me
introduce yourself.
see where he's at. I done lost him.
He's new.
I'm Sonda Green. I belong to Right Worshipful Honey, Chip Green.
Thank you, worship master.
That's the new name.
Thank you for your help, Sonda.
No problem. Anytime, anytime.